What is up, Neo YouTube? I am just a simple new type, and we are slowly making our way towards the finals of the Gundam fight in Future Century. Last time, Domon fought against George, Argo, Sai-Chi, and Chibity as they were taken over by the Devil Gundam. Domon learned that his master, Master Asia, has been working with the Devil Gundam this whole time. Master Asia also began piloting the Master Gundam. In this episode, everyone slowly gets their mojo back after a devastating loss with the Devil Gundam. Everyone begins fighting one another, and George runs into another Neo-France mobile fighter. I will let the narrator take this one.
Gundam fight all set, ready, go!
The new Shuffle Alliance is taken aback by the Devil Gundam. Domon is mad that both Kyoji and Master Asia got away. Sai, Chibity, Argo, and George all go their separate ways. Domon goes out in the Corlander and chases Master Asia. He stumbles onto Schwartz Bruder. He tells Domon to go back and that Master Asia is luring him into a trap. Schwartz tells him that he is not ready. Master Asia is mad that Neo Germany is getting in the way of his plan. Domon felt a sense of nostalgia when fighting Schwartz Bruder. Domon and Rain head up to the mountain and of course fall into Master Asia's trap. Domon fights the Death Masters. These are Death Army mobile suits with features of the Master Gundam with the help of the DG cells. It also uses the Master Cloth. They are overpowering Domon when Schwartz comes in to help in the Gundam Spiegel. He takes down the Death Masters and calls Domon a fool for running into a trap. Domon is hot-headed and challenges Schwartz to a Gundam fight. Schwartz plays with him. He gets the upper hand and eggs him on into going into super mode. He uses his shining finger, but the Gundam Spiegel uses its iron net to stop the attack. Spiegel walks away and tells Domon that he isn't worth finishing off. Schwartz is taking on the role of the new mentor character, it seems. After Schwartz leaves, another Death Master comes in and attacks Domon. He finally goes into super mode and takes out the Death Army mobile suit. Domon wonders why he was able to use super mode during the fight with the Death Master, but not with Schwartz. He is frustrated that he has no control over the super mode. He decides to travel to Guyana Highlands to do more training. This is where Domon initially trained with Master Asia in his youth. He isn't the great Gundam fighter he thought he was. Chibity is currently fighting Kill Harn, Neo-Mongolia representative fighting in the Temujin Gundam. The GF-13053 NMO Temujin Gundam has honestly nothing going on for it. Most of its Gundam skills come from the Temujin scimitar swords that Kill wields. While fighting with Temujin, the Gundam Master is consumed with DG cells that came from Temujin Gundam. Chibity goes mad. He destroys Temujin Gundam, but his memories are spotty. Chibity's girls are worried about Chibity. They decide to get the help of Domon. They leave a letter egging him on and telling him to meet at Guyana Highlands. Meanwhile, Domon is deep in his training. Rain is passing out due to boredom. We get some backstory on Chibity's girls and how they used to be thugs living on the streets of Neo America. They plan on stealing the Shining Gundam's data. Rain wakes up. They use a flashbang and bail before Rain could get to them. Chibity makes his way to the Highlands and watches Domon train.
What's up, Neo Japan?
He introduces himself while he is training. Chibity challenges Domon to a Gundam fight. He accepts. They both engage in battle. Rain chases the girls. They all end up falling into a ravine. They send an SOS out to get Chibity's attention. Domon and Chibity both stop their Gundam fight and focus on saving the girls and punching waves. Domon realizes that Rain is in trouble. He goes into super mode and uses the shining finger to prevent the mudslide from killing the girls. Schwartz was watching from afar. He tells Domon that he hopes that one day he completely controls his super mode. After saving the girls, Chibity takes the data that the girls stole and breaks it. He doesn't want to win that way. Domon and Rain continue their training. Domon is continuing his training by stabbing water. He is currently losing a battle to the waterfall. Meanwhile, Sai-Chi grabs onto Rain's skirt and runs away. Domon happened to see Rain's panties. Classic. While training in the forest, Sai runs into the Neo-Russia crew. He stumbles onto Natasha, who was bathing in the lake. This episode is really horny. Argo grabs Sai and wonders what he is doing here. Sai kicks Argo, and that upsets Sai. Sai senses the Devil Gundam inside Argo. This freaks out Sai, and he falls into the river. Rain tends to his wounds. They all tease him. It upsets Sai-Chi, and he goes off looking for a fight with Argo. Sai in the Dragon Gundam asks for a Gundam fight, but he refuses. The Russian military makes Sai run away. The two monks come in to talk to Natasha. They beg her to have Bolt Gundam fight Dragon Gundam. Domon and Argo run into one another. He asks why he chose not to fight, but before he answers, he sees an attack on his camp in the distance. It was the Dragon Gundam. Natasha forces Argo to fight Sai. Meanwhile, Sai is hanging out with Rain when Bolt Gundam asks him why he attacked his camp. Sai doesn't know what he is talking about, but he uses this opportunity to fight Bolt Gundam. Bolt Gundam moves minimally while Sai exerts a lot of strength trying to attack. Sai uses the Treasured Flower teaching 10 severing formation. He gets a good attack in, but Argo's will is strong and he is able to knock out Dragon. Argo and Sai are both at their limits. The army comes in and demands answers. Schwartz comes in and tells them that it isn't the Dragon Gundam. It is then that a series of Death Dragons come in. The Death Dragon are a part of the Death Army and, like the others, use DG cells to mimic some elements of the Dragon Gundam. Domon and Schwartz goes in to help since Argo and Sai are out of energy. But Rain was fixing up the mobile trace system and the sensitivity is set too high. Domon is struggling to control the Gundam. Domon focuses for a moment and is able to figure out the mobile trace system in its current state. He uses the Shining Finger to destroy the Death Dragon. They are able to get the upper hand for now. Sai asks Argo why he originally didn't want to fight him. He said it was because Sai wasn't at his best and it would be dishonorable to fight him in that state. They both go their separate ways. Domon continues training. George Descend is fighting with his butler Raymond Bishop, who is piloting a literal butler mobile suit. The cockpit resembles a car with a wheel and a clutch. It is capable of grabbing missiles, but other than that, it is simply a butler robot. Raymond is the one who taught George how to fence. While practicing, George has a panic attack. Rain just so happens to run into the two while this was happening. It seems that Raymond has been talking to Rain and wants her to do an exam on George. He also hasn't been motivated and feeling well since fighting the Devil Gundam. Raymond comes to Domon and asks for a favor. Raymond tells Domon of the regional tournament to determine Neo France's Gundam fighter. In the past, George was fighting Mirage Gundam and its pilot, Mirage. Mirage was winning the battle, but due to his dishonorable fighting tactics, he was disqualified, making George the Gundam fighter for Neo France. This upset Mirage, so he began an attack, but while George was deflecting the attack, missiles went off into the crowd, killing all the onlookers. This haunts George to this day. Mirage was sentenced to 1,000 years of hard labor for his crimes. Raymond wants Domon to fight George because that is how all problems are solved here. George, however, overhears the conversation and dismisses Raymond as his butler. While getting drunk off of coffee, Raymond overhears on the TV that Mirage happened to escape from prison. He goes to warn George. While George is talking to Domon and Rain, Mirage Gundam comes in and attacks George. Domon, in Shining, uses the Shining Finger, but Schwartz comes in and prevents Domon from assisting George. It is a fight he must do on his own, for reasons. The Mirage Gundam seems to be overtaken by DG cells. Mirage attacks George, but Raymond and his butler robot comes in and takes the brunt of the missile barrage, killing Raymond in the process. George goes mad, destroying the Mirage Gundam, but Shining comes in and prevents him from fighting a battle he already won. Domon tells him that he isn't being very chivalrous right now. Raymond yells out for George. He is still alive. He calms down after that. Rose Gundam grabs Mirage Gundam's cockpit and removes the DG cells from Mirabel. The Shuffle Alliance seems to have more power than even they know about. George rehires Raymond as his butler again. Domon once again continues his training. And that will do it for this episode. The Shuffle Alliance's confidence has been broken by the Devil Gundam, but the fighters push through and continue the Gundam fight. Domon still can't seem to completely control his super mode, but that doesn't seem to stop him from training and mastering his secret move. Schwartz is also pushing specifically just members of the Shuffle Alliance. It seems he has a bigger role to play in the future. In our next episode, we will be days away from the Gundam Fight Finals. But can Domon even survive long enough to make it to the finals? But until next time, Neo YouTube, If you are going to have a butler in this universe, you are damn right that butler is going to have his own mobile suit. Peace.